The United Nations Environment Programme could soon turn to World Environment Organization if a proposal to the United Nations Commission on Sustainable Development sails through. This is expected to be discussed during the much-awaited Rio+20 conference to be held in Brazil in June. According to UNEP spokesperson Nick Nuttall, this would see UNEP, which is based in Nairobi, acquire more strength and power to perform its role.
You may find it absolutely astonishing, but when the environment ministers from around the world meet here in Gigiri on the 20th of February to the 22nd, they will make decisions, and those decisions then have to go to New York, to the UN General Assembly. And if the UN General Assembly and the governments there decide the environment ministers have been a bit silly or that was the wrong decision or whatever, they can throw their decisions in the bin quite literally.
This year's summit aims to reignite the commitment of world leaders to the cause. But the process of transforming UNEP is equally political, with countries like the United States, which is a top emitter of greenhouse gases, opposing the idea, which currently has support from at least 110 countries.
Yes, there are some governments around the world who've signalled at the moment in time that they would like to strengthen UNEP, but not to an organisation, to a World Environment Organization. And the United States has signalled that that is their current position. But, you know, there are 4 or 5 months left to go to Rio+20 in June, and there's a lot of discussion, a lot of negotiations, and I think we'll have to see whether we have any surprises in Rio in June in terms.
Last year, President Mwai Kibaki, during a UN General Assembly meeting in New York, called for the transformation of UNEP into a specialized UN agency to respond to environmental challenges.
We should be worried about Rio+20. Nothing is in the bag yet. And we don't want it to just be a talk fest and a get-together. You know, it has to be a moment where governments cooperate.
Other key issues that would be discussed in the summit are coming up with a new indicator of wealth other than the GDP to include environmental sustainability and creating sustainable development goals similar to the Millennium Development Goals that will stir real progress towards sustainable development.
We live in a world where we talk about the Millennium Development Goals, and that's about rich countries helping poorer countries in terms of health and environment and water. But actually, if you go back to what's really going on in the world, it's also the consumption rates of the wealthier countries that needs to be also, in a sense, managed, and there need to be goals for that. So with the Sustainable Development Goals, you're actually bringing the world together. You're no longer saying it's just simply an issue of assisting the developing countries. It's about, in a sense, the richer, wealthier countries shouldering their responsibility for environmental change.
For Capital News, I'm Catherine Karongo.